Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. At the cost of repetition, we welcome you once again. It's an honor and privilege for us to have the AJC delegation visiting us. I had a brief conversation in Delhi with Arjun, and he felt that it is a unique opportunity for both the delegation and for our university to have you here. We'll also try and see if we can squeeze some time to take you around. But today it so happens it's a holiday and for state reasons. But maybe you would have found the university much more exciting, vibrant, a lot of students around. It's a busy place, as I said. So without any further ado, what we'll have is I'm going to request Honorable Chancellor and Jason to make the initial remarks. Thereafter, I'm going to request Professor Nalapat to take our conversation forward. We could discuss about how India-US relations are unfolding, how do we see, you have a new administration coming in, we are all looking forward to, and of course we have our experience with the previous Trump 1.0, but then now we're looking forward to another exciting time, and how India would fit in. Also it will be on our agenda, what we feel for our university, for our outreach. We would very much like to explore opportunities for our university to get engaged in universities and think tanks in the United States. And of course, I'm sure we'll get your very good support for that. That's what our mandate is, to carry forward the intellectual capital from here to the United States or the other way around. Without any further ado now, I'm going to request Honorable Chancellor, maybe you would like to make some remarks.
Good evening and welcome to REVA University. Chancellor, I have the privilege of meeting you here and welcoming you. And I have to tell this, we are basically developers, and as a passion and what I can give back to the society with that intention we started. Whatever programs we does here is totally socially relevant programs. All the programs are running here, and we are giving a lot of scholarships for the underprivileged and people from army, and also for handicapped, like that. I have a big team here, and they are doing excellent job. Even I can say, with a short period of as institute, within 9 years, government invited us, and on invitation we got the university status within 9 years. Once we became university, from 240 students, now we have 60,000 students with us, and 1,000 faculty, and about 600 non-faculty we have. We have the accommodation here for 4,000 students, and about 200 faculty are staying here. And this campus is a green campus. I already told that this campus runs on solar, totally on solar power. And the very time when we actually participate in what is a green campus, almost we will be in second position or third position in the country. Even if you take academics also, yes, we are doing well. And any social relevant programs, if you participate, we are always getting some prizes like that. And we have a good advisory board. Professor Nalapat is in that board also. He is our main source for us to guide. That is also helping us to grow. And now, what the best we can do, or how to go beyond boundaries and how to learn and give the students exposure to the outside India. That's why we decided on the advice of Professor Nalapat's advice, the Geopolitics Center, that is exclusively for students to expose for the external affairs activities.
Mr. Jason.
Mr. Chancellor, thank you. On behalf of the American Jewish Committee delegation that's here, it is really a great privilege for us to be here, and it's a personal privilege and delight for me to be across from my friend Maya. So thank you for creating this opportunity for me to catch up with Professor Nalapat, whom Shira knows and all of us have come to know over the years. But I'm one of his many thousands of students. You know about the American Jewish Community, I'm not sure your colleagues do, so I'll let say a few words about the organization. Or you can just go to our website, but that's boring, so let me tell you very quickly. We were founded in 1906 with the intention of being a vehicle to protect vulnerable Jewish communities. And in that case, it was the vulnerable Jewish communities of the Tsarist Russia that were being attacked in the pogroms of that period. Over the decades, we evolved into a national organization that originally had a very small committee in New York City, mostly founded by Jews of German ancestry who had come in the last century or beginning of the 20th century or the end of the 19th century. But it evolved over time and it grew nationally. After the Second World War, we began to develop groups of our membership in regional offices across the United States. We have now 25 offices across the United States, and we have 15 offices overseas, 15 representations overseas. And of course, we're represented here in the world's largest democracy as well. How can we not? I would say that some of the inspiration, maybe a lot of the inspiration for the development of our strong interest in India-US relations and India-Israel relations really stems from the man who's sitting to our left. Professor Nalapat has guided us over the years in our recognition of the huge importance, the huge potential of the relationship between India and the United States and also between India and Israel. And so seeing in January of 1992 the establishment of diplomatic relations between these countries, these two great democracies, well, one very tiny democracy and one vast democracy, has been the fulfillment of the dreams of all of us. It was just so natural that these two countries would see in each other the potential of partnership across so many sectors. I remember years ago, maybe 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 years into the relationship, being in New York City and meeting an external affairs minister who was describing to me and my AJC colleagues the importance of Israel at that time to India, and how Israel, I think the year that we were meeting, was either the number 1 or the number 2 defense supplier to India, which was the most phenomenal fact for us to hear that this tiny country itself subject to repeated attacks by its neighbors and having to fend for itself in a very hostile neighborhood was helping supply armaments to a country that is so great and has such history and has such also dangers on its borders. It was just a further cementing of the logic of the relationship between India and Israel. But to limit the discussion about the India-Israel relationship to the defense sector would be a terrible mistake because there are so many other reasons why it makes sense for India and Israel to work together. The cultural affinity of these two countries, these two great civilizations, one very great civilization, one very small but great civilization, our people, our history, our legacy, the contributions that our people have made over the centuries to humanity, combined with the contribution that this great country has made, fills us with excitement and fills all of us with a sense of wonder about the potential we can all realize. You asked about the incoming U.S. administration. We all are watching very closely to see how that administration develops. Some of the appointments of people who are committed to the relationship between India and the United States is a source of great satisfaction to us. The new National Security Advisor, the co-chair of the India Caucus in the House of Representatives, obviously a very good sign. Marco Rubio, the new Secretary of State, also a friend of India. And there are some other appointments of people who we know we'll be able to work with as we continue to work in partnership with our Indian American friends. And we have a very close and very deep partnership with our Indian American community. We will work together to ensure that the U.S.-India relationship remains on the upward trajectory for frankly, for decades. I need to point out it's not only President Trump who has a strong feeling and very positive about it. His predecessor, President Biden, also has done a lot to advance that relationship. We work side by side with people in every administration and every Congress on both sides of the aisle in both houses of Congress to make sure that the Indian relationship, the India relationship with the United States is a priority. And I think with that, I want to thank you again, Chancellor, and for giving us this opportunity to meet all of you. We'd be happy to take your questions. We're very much to hear your views on whether you agree with what I'm saying about the depth of the relationship and the upward trajectory of the relationship. Any concerns that you have that we can help you address in the United States, we would very much welcome that opportunity.
Thank you very much. I think what we'll do is probably request Professor Nalapat to lead the discussion, and maybe my colleagues will have some views or comments to make, and then we can have a quick exchange of views.
Look, I want to say the main reason I'm here is because I have seen Jason, for example, exceptionally close for more than 3 decades. Shira, for heaven's sake, I'm not going to talk about decades, but Bob, and of course, you have your very understanding individual representing AJC in India, so there's no question about that. I just want to say that I have treated myself with unique privilege of being coming here today for a simple reason that you're right, Jason, and we talked about this for a long time. The Jewish and Indic civilizations are two civilizations that have endured millennia and millennia and millennia. If anything, the Jewish people have endured more suffering and more horrors, more decimation than we have had. We've had a periods in which people were slaughtered, we've had a period in which people were whatever, but I think compared to what Jewish people have endured, and what is important to me is when I used to travel long back as a kid in India, I used to be heartened by the fact that we used to pass village after village after village in train. Pitch darkness. One light, always in every village, and that light is the land of the temple. People will not have lights in their home, will have lights in the temple. Frankly, that is the Jewish way. That light, that lamp, you have never allowed it to die. And tell me the kind of suffering that you have endured. I've studied the Nazi regime, I've studied anti-Semitism, I've studied all that, trying to find out what drives people to fight against a community that's significant to the world. If you look at the military accomplishment, you look at everything else, the Jewish people have contributed so much. And of course, we have some commemoration also, Jason, for example, Haifa, where we had the Mysore Lancers fight and win back the city from the Ottoman Empire. I just want to say that it's a great honor and a great privilege to be here, mainly because I'm with the people who have endured so much and yet retain their identity. I think that's very difficult. I've seen in China, for example, the identities have basically changed. Chinese culture has changed. They have been forced to change. To survive, well, in the case of the Jewish people, it was a question of change of identity. 99% Jews will fight, will not survive, but will keep our identity. That kind of courage, I can tell you, is something which is very, very difficult to talk about. It's very, very difficult to put into words. So, we're talking about 1992, Chancellor was there, somebody who thought I had some bright ideas. Not everybody does, I can tell you. I'm usually politically correct, normally correct. But anyway, and kind of pushed him into making Israel a full-fledged embassy. It was actually run as a small little consular office from Bombay. And we all said, fine. And Taiwan. I said, why don't you have a representation with Taiwan? And he agreed on both counts. And he went ahead and did it. Of course, I must tell you that the catch I used was that this was very closer to the United States. Bill Clinton, unfortunately, did not make me a good profit. It was not a very good relationship. But it doesn't matter. The relationship with Israel has got out. In case you're not aware of that, you should look at the history of, for example, Moshe Dayan. That legendary individual has come to India. He used to land in a military airport. I was almost my teens at that time. And he used to land at dead of night. And then he would be transported by a kind of sealed vehicle, high security, into Delhi, where he'd meet the top people. And completely unknown, he'd go to another military airport and his flight to Israeli Air Force or something. I was around at that point in time at night, but I was present in the ante of some of the meetings that took place. And I can tell you, because my grandfather used to take he again, one of the guys called it was a question of mutual security. Israel has always helped India to be secure. Always. Secretly, openly. At last, under Prime Minister Modi, that closet relationship has come out in the open. He traveled to Jerusalem, and I say that to me, it's a song. It's not a poem, written by a poet in Austria, in Galicia. It's a song, and that's the heart, the hope. And it's the hope which, frankly, has never, ever gone for the Israeli people. And very importantly, humanity has never gone for the Jewish people. What is your favorite word? Shalom. Shalom Alaikum. That's what you say. Where has there been peace in your lives? Over hundreds of years, over millennia, in so many parts of the world. Where has shalom been? No, hardly in sight. And yet, your greeting is shalom alaikum. That shows something about humanity in human beings. And I've been, frankly, a UNESCO professor. I've written learned papers that I don't like writing, but unfortunately, they're the only ones they can see which are other professors, so I have to write them so that I may have a little bit of ideas as well. And I can only say that, I admire these people. I admire this group of people. I never hid that admiration. Because, frankly, you have overcome so much. And you have gone so far. And what I want the Chancellor to do, I publicly say this. What I wanted is my intention for this meeting was that the Chancellor established a center within the Department of Geopolitics for Jewish studies. And for heaven's sake, unlike 99% of other centers for Jewish studies, it's not anti-Jewish. For heaven's sake, believe me, if there are horrible Jews around, I've met a lot of Jewish people. I've stayed with them back in the 90s when I used to visit the US and we had no money. We had $30 and people again, not in this taxi fare, and very suffering. They're the only ones crazy not to put up a crazy email. And what I liked about them the most was in their houses, they're as loud and they talk as loudly, and they argue as loudly, and they fight as loudly as we do. It's just, impossible to describe the warmth that you get from a Jewish home. And that warmth comes from your suffering and from humanity and your suffering. I'm going to be very brief in geopolitics. Somebody said who brought out geopolitics in India. Jason knows more than 35, 36 years we've been talking about India and the US. That's very, very important. We are the two major democracies of the world. We are complementary. You have a lot of great things, we have a lot of young talent, we can develop them. And by the way, we have something like 46 or 47 or 48 million young people who within 6 months to 18 months training in boot camp can go and fight on the front lines. We are down there, we're doing that through a scheme which we got called REVA scheme. We are now training about 6 million people, youngsters. Their training will go up to around 60 million, 60 million able-bodied young people who are disciplined, trained in military skills, been in the army, face hostile fire, and who can fight and win on behalf of democracy. Believe me, Jason, the land that you showed me, the land that is there, me as a member of the Indian civilization, that land is even more needed. India and the US have to come together. I checked out some of the people who travel the state. I mean, I'm really optimistic. Many of them are brilliant, and I think many of them are pro-India, which I'm not going to fight against. And many of them know the main threat comes from a country where the threat has been there for a long time. Civilization and systemic threat. They believe their civilization is superior. They believe their system is superior. And they're trying to act like evangelists and spread back to what the Jewish people are not evangelists. I mean, the number of you guys, I don't know the population of Bombay is double or triple your size. It must be at least double, probably triple. But believe me, I can tell you, that is a danger for us. And that is all about the point. My title of the book of mine I wrote last year, Cold War. And believe me, this university is on the front line. That is why I want the Chancellor to establish a department of Jewish studies that understands the Jewish people and that looks at the Jewish people through our lens and not the lens of, I don't know, all kinds of weird lenses in which you see all kinds of weird things. I see nothing but beauty in the way you have fought and your family heritage. And I just want to say, it's important that we and the US come together. It's important that we and Israel remain together. And I just want to end by saying, I'm honored to be here today. I'm honored to be the president of people who bear within them the DNA of a civilization that has endured millennia of the most atrocious, horrible persecution. Shalom.
Can I say one thing in response to one of first of all, now all of my colleagues can see why we find this matter so inspiring. The role that you played in our from the age of our thinking about the relationship with Canadian and in the United States. But it is not only the fact that the Jewish people have endured suffering and survived and are resilient. It is our intention, our calling to make the world a better place, which I think is at least as salient, if not even more salient. But your words really great. So thank you so much for that. And let me also say that AJC will happily partner with this university, with you, with your Chancellor, with your colleagues, in helping to develop this Center for Jewish Studies or Department of Jewish Studies. We have some experience in this and many other institutions. The academic background, the reading lists, perhaps active choices. We'd love to be your consultants.
Thank you. Thank you. Professor Nalapat probably has set the agenda for us to mull over, think about. And Jason, of course, thank you very much for this very wonderful opportunity that the university will have in terms of Jewish studies. My colleagues, I'm going to ask them to, if they have any questions, or maybe it could be more free-flowing than more of a kind of a structured way of discussion.
Can I ask my colleagues to introduce themselves?
Yeah, that would be great. Sure.
Okay, I'm Bob Picard. I'm the chairman of the Asia Pacific Institute of AJC. I am a lawyer for 15 years and still practicing law. In terms of India, My wife and I consider ourselves to be Indiophiles. She unfortunately is Indiophile in the hotel room right now. She has a little belly, but it's okay. But we've been to India together on holiday 9 times. We've formed lasting lifelong friendships with Indians in Udaipur, in Mumbai, and visited Udaipur, and 2 days we'll visit with our dear friends in Mumbai. And I've been here on business as a lawyer more times than that. I think this is my 20th trip. And when I've spoken at events for clients, and they've asked me, somebody in the audience has said, is this your first trip to India? And I say, no, because I have been to, and I start going to pick up and everybody goes, that's more than we've been. Okay, you have the credentials. I love India. I love the Indian people, and just to Manu, to your point, there's something else that is between us. I don't know if it emerges from former us, or whether it is just part of our DNA, the similarities, the spiritual similarities, the cultural similarities, the value similarities between the Indian people and the Jewish people. It's such that we've met you all for the first time now, and yet we feel we're at home, and we feel that we're comfortable, and we feel we're with friends. So thank you very, very much for listening.
Hello, thank you for hosting us. It's wonderful to be here. My name is Paul Ebner. I'm a member of the board of the Asia Pacific Institute, or AJC. In my professional life, I spent 31 years in diagnostic medicine for a company called Abbott Laboratories. And then after that, doing some consulting for Joint Commission and Centers for Disease Control and some other things. I founded a healthcare organization, a nonprofit called Society to Improve Diagnosis in Medicine, which is a patient safety and quality organization that seeks to improve the diagnosis of disease, accurate and timely diagnosis. It's wonderful to be here. This is my 3rd trip to India in less than 2 years, all with AJC.
I'm Janet Gans Epner, related to Paul Epner. I am new to the Asia Pacific Institute with AJC, and this is my first trip to India, which is something that I have wanted to do since my 20s, which is a long time now. And I am fascinated by what I am hearing about the relationship between India and the US, and India and Israel. I cannot thank you enough for what you said and how you said it.
Thank you for being what you are.
So I think that's enough. I have a doctoral degree in sociology, and I've worked at NYC, it's a social science survey research center at the University of Chicago, and the American Medical Association, both in reproductive health and in adolescent health.
My name is Cindy Masters. I'm originally from Toronto and to New York, and fell in love with the city. And I was actually first employed by the Jewish community there by doing Jewish communal work, and which has long led me to AJC because I really believe in this global, like you described, finding linkages between the Jewish world, Israel, and Jews have lived everywhere peacefully within the world, and I know here in India as well, there's a long history. And I'm new to the Asia Pacific Institute, and this is my first trip to India, and I can't wait to come back. because it's so vast, and the warmth that you feel from us, we feel, or I've experienced in people, everybody I've met here. I feel like I actually have family here. And it's a feeling that it's really so genuine. In your words and your description, there's an understanding of the way that we look at the world and what we value. It just isn't coming from a place of struggle, it's coming from a place of compassion. And I'm really excited to hear more. If we can, I know we will get this Jewish Studies department going, because it's so important for our communities to work together and to understand each other.
My name is Randy Chitnis. Thank you so much for your warm hospitality and having us. I'm also a board member of the Asia Pacific Institute, AJC. Professionally, I'm vice chairman of one of the very large Japanese banks with a large presence here in India. So I've come many times over the course of the last many years, twice with AJC and 3 times every year on business. Very deep commitment to the country for the tremendous opportunities there are, and the good fortune of seeing the development after hearing for so many years of discussion of what India can be, things around like infrastructure and otherwise, and seeing particularly over the last few years, all of that discussion starting to really be put into action. Very excited by the conversation we're having here today. Thank you again.
Thank you very much. I'm Shira Lowenberg. I'm the director of AJC's Asia Pacific Institute, and I've been in this position for over 10 years. My first visit to India was as a backpacker over 30 years ago. So I have seen many of the changes in India, but one thing that hasn't changed is the warmth that I felt then, over 30 years ago, and that I feel now. And thank you again, as everyone's thank you for the kind words. In the United States, I just want to bring up also, maybe a point for conversation, AJC has outreach across the country. We have 25 offices across the country to the Indian American community organizations. And I know that many in the Indian American community have strong ties to India, support for India. That's something that we are also leveraging and working in support of our common interests. So thanks again for this.
Thank you for organizing this, and we have, of course, it's Nalapat is an old mentor, friend, and a guide. We follow him religiously. Yes, the guides. I had the pleasure of meeting Dr. Sakhuja for the first time just barely a month ago, month and a half, less than that. Organized a meeting with each other. He explained the program and what the university is all about. I had written my notes for the university. And as the representative here of the Jewish community in India, I look for new opportunities where we can partner, and I saw the potential of bringing the delegation here. And it's a one-time stop, but it's fully worth it, and I'm happy that we're here and I'm resident here, so we work.
Thank you. I'll take opportunity for my colleagues also to introduce themselves.
I am Sanjay Chitnis. I am the Vice Chancellor of CEGIS. Let me actually share my influence from Jewish community. So first is Viktor Frankl's Man's Search of Meaning. That's an amazing book I read during school days, and somebody actually gave it to me as well. And that's just something, see, in India we talk a lot about spirituality, right? But there is one person who actually, through his life, showed, right? Started solution about all the kind of things he went in this Nazi jail, etc. And how he kept his own self and search for meaning for that. That's number one. But two is, I was also fortunate to hear a story from our teacher on Operation Interview in early 70s, 70s time. Maybe it was, I don't remember the date, etc. But I mean, that was really fascinating how Israel really took that challenge to rescue people there, right? And it was out of the world kind of thing, not thinkable kind. So I think these two things really had a lot of impact on my life. So really, I kind of admire Jewish community and the way they stand for. Right? It's not just about business economy that goes up, and they're very successful. But at the same time, this is a core part of personality, which really makes a difference. It's very, very inspiring for us as students. that's of course, I had a chance to work in US in Motorola. So, we did a program and we had a contractor commerce. So I got to work with those engineers and see their commitment, how they used to work, etc. So that was a lot of unique thing. So how Israel engineers work, technology side. Of course, I heard about entrepreneurship, the kind of success rate they have, so much better than rest of the world. Right? So we were really happy to really understand. So far, we have not gone deeper into that and see the cultural part and how to make success, right, based on this kind of cultural aspect. That's the mission about Jewish studies, etc. So not just in terms of culture, it's definitely important and there's a lot to learn about it, but also the modern technology and entrepreneurship, those aspects we really like to learn. It would be very nice to have this kind of interaction to learn from us as well as the way, whichever way we can contribute. So that's my submission. Thank you.
Thank you. Very briefly, I'm a mariner by profession, then landed up into academia. I worked with the government, 3 ministries, and did some work at the National University of Singapore. I did a think tank of the Ministry of Defense, and I'm here just taken over about 7 months ago as the head of the Center for Geopolitics. We look forward to a lot of conversations, of course, and of course substantive work that can be done. World is turbulent, and we find that we all, whether it's whatever vertical that we come from, to understand the contemporary order and to help us better, as you said, a better place. That would be what we'll be looking for at our center. And once again, welcome. I'm here. Look forward to working with you. Professor.
Thank you. I'm Dr. Biradar, Vice Chancellor for Engineering Programs at REVA University. It's very interesting to understand the Jewish philosophy and all that. As Vice Chancellor mentioned, he studied something, but I don't have studied that, all that Jewish background. But with your interaction, it's very interesting to understand that there is a lot of collaboration that could be possible from REVA University in terms of, because we there is a match we find that there's a spiritual, cultural, and values and ethics based the match that we can take it further to see that how best we can, in a micro level, in the US country and other countries, how best the REVA University can contribute, as rightly pointed out, to Jewish studies, how it will create the graduates, certain programs, joint activities, whether it is a conference, or whatever it is. So, Madam rightly pointed out, so sociology and social sciences. And one interesting is Paul mentioned, healthcare systems. We have a lot of scope here in the university to match the healthcare research, fundamental research, where we can collaborate with whatever your healthcare sector, the technology, the life sciences, and other things we can collaborate with. Thank you.
Yeah, good evening. I'm Dr. Narayana, Registrar at REVA University. I look after the administrative affairs of the university within and outside complaints related to regulatory and statutory bodies. And our Chancellor's vision aligns with your thoughts like health, education, and agriculture. And I am inspired by the way in which the Jewish people, especially Israeli agriculture technology with innovations, smart farming. So we would like to collaborate and work with you all for the further, especially in these 3 areas. Our university is very eager to join with you and do something which can be able to make more better. Thank you.
Good evening, everyone. This is Raju from International Relations and Research Collaborations. So, as I was having a brief introduction with some of you, I again would like to mention that with the Chancellor's vision, we work on various biotechnological aspects and agriculture as well as other important areas. And as I was discussing with Professor Paul and also Janet, so we were mentioning about biomedical sciences and then we were associations. Last year, for your kind of information, we brought Richard J. Robbins
So from New England Labs, laureate to this campus. So he has witnessed and he has got some discussions. And apart from that, we also have some collaborations with some of the few universities in the America. We would like to have more collaborations in these sectors, biomedical sciences, pharmaceutical sciences, and even agricultural sciences as well, including food sector, apart from geopolitics and other engineering sciences and management sciences. So with that, happy collaborating and happy research and happy education. Thank you.
Good evening, all of you. I am Dr. Ramalinga Reddy, the Pro Vice Chancellor, Dental Administration. Basically, I am a civil engineer and a hardcore researcher, particularly on the waste materials. And of course, more than 125 papers I published in the waste materials, more than 10 PhDs I produced. And our Chancellor sir mission is first is protect environment and food security. This is where every day, whenever my Chancellor sir will address to our people, he will be pointing always about the food security and saving the environment. So he has already initiated every student who is going to take the admission in this REVA University. One student, one plant is must. So that is something we can give back to the environment and to the, of course, the world to bring down the global warming. And particularly recently, when I was reading so many articles, because all the eminent peoples are there across the world, we will be moving here and there. And my request is, of course, and now every day we are talking about the solid waste management, environmental waste, plastic waste. But coming days, if you see that entire the world is growing like anything in the vertically in the sky. Because after some time, these vertical buildings, after 80 years or 100 years or 150 years, it has to demolish. In future will be the next problem for this world is the building waste. Once if you demolish these high-rise buildings in the coming days, where to dispose, how to recycle. And recently even we started already, some of my scholars already have done some works on that. We are working on that. And really I am happy. So just like you was saying, we are all met here. And so discussing some good points. And we are ready to collaborate on this particular research area. So with any good institutes and very rightly our international collaboration team is really working hard and we are ready to work for the area of this. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. I am Dr. Delegation. I am Assistant Professor at the Center of Excellence for Geopolitics and International Studies. Since everybody is highlighting the love for Israel and the Jewish people, let me also outline my love for and affection for the Jewish people in Israel. The first book that I ever wrote was on Israel and the suffering that the Jewish people have faced in the entire world following the destruction of First and the Second Temple and what happened in Europe, and how they have come up with their own state that is called Israel. And despite going all the suffering, that is unique, and that which in my personal opinion is something that all Indians must learn, because despite 2000 years of atrocities, and they still went to the places where they were not given occupations, they were denied occupations, still they worked in the kibbutz system, and inhabited those land and created the state, and till today they are facing the same kind of suffering in the Middle Eastern region, even till today. Europe is the situation is still the same. And the first article that I ever wrote was on anti-Semitism in United Kingdom, that I was supposed to present in United Kingdom at the University of Bangalore. But due to funding issues, I was not able to go, but I still managed to get that paper published in one journal. And as Nalapat sir has already highlighted, the trajectory of India and the Jewish state, how the two Indic civilizations or Jewish civilization can come together. And at this university, established a Center of Jewish Studies. And sir had already mentioned about Prime Minister Moshe Dayan. When he was the defense minister, he used to come here. And that time when he met Morarji Desai, then Prime Minister of India, he had mentioned a very famous statement. And the statement was, the defense minister, you can see the reality of India relations. Because of that, we see our hands tied. We cannot establish relations. That was back in 1977. But this is 2024. Under the leadership of Prime Minister Modi and under the leadership of our beloved Chancellor, Dr. Shyama, Raju sir, I guarantee you that the hands are no longer tied. We can go forward with the Jewish studies programs and disseminate knowledge about the kind of knowledge or the achievements the Jewish people have achieved throughout the world, and based on that, this center can come up with some programs, and we will require your help, as Jason said, was already mentioning that during the Q&A session, we would love to discuss the how to go about it. Thanks.
Hello everyone, I'm Raju. I've done my PhD from University of Hyderabad. So I'm an assistant professor at the Center of Excellence for Geopolitics and International Studies. So I basically worked on India-Japan bilateral relations and I explored how domestic variables set the tone for present foreign policies and how they affect grassroots communities as well, to aid and others. And as part of that, I look at how leadership, political parties, public opinion also shapes foreign policy. And as part of that, as I finished my PhD, unfortunately, October event has happened, so I was in a different institute. And then I realized that there is a need to disseminate information to the layman public. So I took the lead to write opinion pieces in a local daily, which is mostly read. Though my intention was to decentralize foreign policy analysis, so I started writing in Telangana. I was the first one to write on the October 7th event in local and daily. So, and we started. With that, I became a commentator for the newspaper as well. I started disseminating information in vernacular as well as national dailies. And right after that, I got an opportunity here and I started writing extensively as well. This is my agenda. This is where I want. Thank you.
We also have one more of our scholars, Professor Z.
Good evening, sir. My name is Ray. I do PhD in Israel. I looked on water security discourse in Israel and how leadership is, the whole state is looking at water security and how they link national security discourse. Because water is sensible life. And it's scarce for that reason. So I looked upon the idea that how water security is linked with the national security discourse in Israeli. I also wrote a paper, the first paper was Israel, in analysis since 1992. That was published on the Scopus Index Journal way back some 7 years ago. And also again, looking at the areas of water security in Israel and how it is linked with national security discourse basically. So how is non-total discourse, how it became national security discourse, state security basically in that area, water security. So that's all.
Thank you. I think we all had exchange of where we come from. That's very useful. Jason, thanks for bringing that whole issue, but let's introduce ourselves, which I missed out right at the beginning. I should know that. But one person we have missed out really is our Chancellor. He also has a lot.
I have already spoken about my background.
Yes.
I think it's a very good interaction going our team to you all, listening from you. Really, I am excited about to have this center here. I think Dr. Sakhuja and Raju, they will take it forward. Our advisor, friend and well-wisher, Nalapat is there. What is the guidance and how to go about this? Thank you very much. And we're here, and it's a good interaction.
I agree, Chancellor. Thank you for giving us this opportunity. I mean, I would come here just so we've seen our audio, but to have this broad demonstration of real interest and engagement with us and with our community and with our people is it's thrilling for all of us. A good start on development of a real collaboration with the university and following the footsteps of Dr. Nalapat. We will go even higher. Thank you.
No, I think it's very important that the importance of Israel maintaining freedom and democracy. I'm sorry, I would say to Jewish people, maintaining freedom and democracy is understood clearly because we are seeing the hard power of Israel, but we are seeing it used in a self-defense mode. Israel has never started the wars 1. They were always starting frankly. And they lost. And sometimes people win, sometimes people lose. And when you lose, they lose. And so I don't know the lessons we learned, but it's not being learned. I'm sure it was very there. And I can assure you about one thing very clearly. We will be. India is not forgotten Israel. This Israel is not forgotten. And we have our own methods of ensuring that. And I want to say we're seeing that in the spirit of the same spirit which motivates your humanistic, that the whole world should be one family. But I want to say, Jason, that's been put to a lot. Vasudeva, the world is one family. It's something from an epic called Hittopradesha. There's a crow, there's a fox, and there's a deer. And the fox is trying to entice the deer to its lair for dinner. And the crow is warning, be careful, be careful. And the fox is continually saying, Vasudeva, world is one family. Believe me, if the other guy does not think that you're family, he's saying that you are part of the same family. It's not. Just not true. And you have to protect yourself. Actually, in Hittopradesha, the green escaped. She escaped from the fox. It doesn't always happen. You follow people who you think are benign and turn out to be anything but. So I think studying the history of the Jewish people and the state of Israel, I think, frankly, it's essentially Jewish culture. It is very important. I think the uniqueness of Israel is that Jewish culture, to be frank with you. And in India also, we have the same kind of ancient culture. And this should embrace everybody. Everybody should believe the world is not family. But if I say it's not family, I feel it's not one family. And the first times I do horrible things. It's different. So I want to say, Jason, that I was never a great admirer of or Sharon, but Sharon got involved unnecessarily. The Shiite terrorists came there, one of the Sunni terrorists. But frankly, I must confess that I have admired him for the relentless way in which he is acting to protect, in his own way, what he believes with the Jewish identity, the Jewish people, and the state of Israel. I got to say that against all my sociological instincts, I have got to confess that I have some admiration, huge amount of admiration for that. I don't think it's just money or just power or just protection. I think it's more than that. And I think that's why Jewish people are very special. They have a special spirit, and that spirit should never ever be given. Thank you, Chancellor. And Chancellor, again, I repeat my request. Jewish Studies group that we set up, and the real personality and character of Jewish Town. That's REVA can do it. The Chancellor has been pro-Israel for a long time, ever since I known him, and I know that he feels that it's the right thing.
So, ball is in your court.
Sure. I always say, your wish is my command.
Sorry, I think you may be aware there is one historical relationship between Bangalore and Israel. So, in World War I, city of Haifa, so there was attacks by Ottoman Empire, and that was, I think, 600, 700 soldiers were sent from the went on horses, etc., 5,000 kilometers, and they defended the city. So, in the honor of that, there is a war memorial in the heart of the city, in the RDM collection. So that's a Mysore license University of It's 1980.
Very important contribution.
And it's true.
Actually, before the Germans, the First World War, Second World War, the British army, about 2 million people moved the wars. And they fought against the Germans all the time. So I think we had a small. Go ahead.
Yes. So, thank you very much. I don't know if there is some time with us for some conversations on some of the issues that you have raised. My colleagues, if they have any questions that you have. A brief one.
Small question, sir. Since we have 16,000 students in this university studying different programs, and AJC has the outreach and resources, so how you can help our students in some of the connectivity, academic resources, and exchange programs in USA and Israel?
I have a question in return to that. I think it may help to answer that. My question is about, I think that one of you mentioned partnerships with US universities. I'm wondering if you work in the fields or what aspects of your new center of geopolitics, and if you have any connections to Israeli universities, particularly in light of the Jewish studies.
Yes, we'll be very happy to explore, looking out. It's more like reaching out, go out strategy of ours to build relations and share intellectual capital. So we'll be very happy if we are connected to universities in Israel, universities in the United States, centers. We can come back to you on that, where that interest is.
That's an area.
So, right, what we'll do is we'll prepare a short note on that and share it with you. Will that be all right?
Yes.
So that, it's there in your stock tip, somewhere you get an opportunity or some conversation in which, this issue can be.
Are there existing relationships you have?
No, as of now.
Great.
So it's literally we'll be starting, and that a clean slate will be something that we can now pen down anything that we wish. So we'll be very happy.
Interestingly, what Shira mentioned earlier that we can be assistance in helping to design this program. It's critically important that we go to the very point that the professor was making, mainly that this start with the culture of the people who we're talking about. There's a propensity in some places, not in some places, to define the study of the Jewish people in Israel from starting with the perspective of the conflict between Palestinians and the Jews. That hardly defines who we are and doesn't define our history. We can be helpful through experience that we already have in helping to give you guidance as to the curriculum so that it really does reflect the study of the Jewish people and Israel.
And also in linking to things that are not related to that, agriculture, medical health.
So there are a host of other verticals that we can explore, which we can then tailor it to the needs of the students. And of course, also we look forward to research scholars coming to our university. They can spend time here, and of course, Chancellor he encourages us to invite scholars to come and spend time here because it's not one-way street. We are learning a lot in the bargain, and that helps us widen our own networks.
Actually, on that point, I don't know if you've had a chance to meet the Israeli Consul General here, Rolly Weissman. We had lunch with her, and the Israeli government has a little bit of money to pay for something like that, to bring a professor to
we will take that. As well, I'm hoping that when I go to Delhi next, we will probably facilitate a meeting with the ambassador so that we are able to now connect up with the so-called the diplomatic vertical and then help us. And we will be happy to receive delegations coming in to Asia. So it builds us, kind of more better understanding of things.
Yes.
So, and
Yes. And to add a note on that, Vijay, so we have some collaborations happening with Morehouse School of Medicine at Atlanta. Yeah.
Which one, Emory? Morehouse, okay.
So some research is happening and then some publications have also been published. And we also have some research collaborations with Kansas But at the moment, we are planning for more deeper collaborations in terms of pharmaceutical.
When you say University of Kansas?
Kansas. Yeah.
It's interesting. I am also vice chair of the board of something called Sepsis Alliance, which is sepsis, and the chair is the chair of the department at University of Kansas in pulmonary medicine. So maybe that is something I can also.
Thank you. I personally work on metabolic diseases, including
Metabolic?
Cardiovascular diseases, and other neurodegenerative diseases. So these are the few universities which are closely working, especially for research. And even academic collaborations, we have set up some sort of collaborations with Columbia University. However, we have to show reports for the collaborations. So at the moment, we are still under discussions. Which area of research should take forward? Mainly engineering and management, they are showing interest. So probably, and allied health sciences. So that is also another sector. Usually the collaborative research showing more interest. And another university which we were having some discussions, but it is again under personal collaboration discussions. So with Florida International University. Mm-hmm. So these are the universities where we have these platforms already. So then we are trying to boost up more research and more academic collaborations with more universities from the US and Israel as well. And to add one more note on that, recently one of our students, chemistry research scholars, who has finished his PhD here, has got an opportunity to work with the Israeli government, and then he was there for 1 year. Recently, in the month of October, August, he is returned to REVA University. So he's still with us. So we have got great support from Israel, about 70,000, Israel currency was the funding. So 1.5 lakhs or something like that. So he was there for 1 year. He just returned back. So we are planning for more collaborations with other countries.
So we have, I think, lots on the agenda. I think we have literally 5 minutes primed to now engage each other and look forward to.
May I ask a quick question? Many universities are located somewhere, but not necessarily linked to the communities in which they reside. Bangalore is a big innovation and business-oriented, technology-oriented ecosystem. How integrated is the university into the existing innovation ecosystem?
Yeah, you're right. Yes, actually, that's one of the advantage for us. We have a center, University Industry Interaction Cell. So through that center, actually collaborate with multiple industries here. So we have research labs which are funded, like we have one AR&IC lab which is funded by them. We also have our incubator, REVA University, Biradar, I moved to that. So recently we had a very good program for students. It was a very large program where we can develop interest in students. In the curriculum, right from first semester onwards, we teach them design thinking and put them on the track of startups. There's a lot of faculty and staff, they are also working on some of the startups. In fact, it's our Chancellor's idea to make sure that at least 5-10% of our students become entrepreneurs. And all this happens in collaboration with industry. So we have mentors for industry and industry bodies as well, not just individual industries. So we have industry bodies like NASCOM, which I am myself part of, and completely part of something called TIE, the industry entrepreneurs thing. So there are many industry bodies which we are connected to, and through that actually we do partnership. So that's one of the prime focus.
Should we close it? Thank you very much. I think very, very interesting discussions, and we are delighted that you could come by busy schedule and look forward to receiving you all more often. Come down. Everyone said this is a third visit, fourth visit. Whatever, please add one. We will be here. We will receive you again.
Yes, there are some great universities in India. A lot of them are located in the south. REVA is going into the future, and the future is very, very important and good, and the Jewish people are very important in the future, I can tell you. So, frankly, I'll tell you, we have a huge population, a lot of young people, and in the next 3 or 4 years, unless we can get things in order with them, the next 30, 40 years is not going to be very pleasant for us and for the world. So I think you're seeing what's happening in the US, in campuses. It's incredible. It's absolutely unbearable.
You will have to let us know the grand opening date for the Center for Jewish Studies here.
So for that opening, I welcome you all in advance.
It's consistent with our culture. We'll bring the cake and the decoration.
Thank you once again. We've done well for time. We managed to squeeze our conversation 6:15, and I understand you have an hour-long drive to the city for your dinner. And wish you all a pleasant stay and a flight back home.